Welcome to the Pharisee briefing for February 4th, 2008. I am your humble informant, Izeldor, coming to you from Bergen County, New Jersey. Having returned this afternoon from a rally at the Meadowlands Arena for candidate Barack Obama, I speak with a newfound sense of urgency. Our society is caught in a gravity field whereby the average person has very little understanding and therefore very little ability to help extricate us from the problems that are mounting on a day-to-day basis. In keeping with that thought, I'm going to be talking about two subjects today. The first being billionaires, and the second being Republican candidate Ron Paul. And you will see when I'm finished that the two are interrelated subjects. I don't know if you've been watching the cable news shows, but every so often a extreme wealthy person or someone who represents extreme wealthy people comes on the Wall Street Report or Neil Cavuto and acts angry and acts resentful. Doesn't like the idea that we're contemplating affordable health care. Takes the position that anything which is not benefiting their pocketbook, in other words, anything that does not put money in their pocket, is automatically a communist plot. Uses such monikers and sound bites as, this is just another attempt to take money from those who earned it and give it to those who didn't, which is actually an effective soundbite. But if you think about it closely, a person who pushes buttons for a living and earns $50 or $100 million a year hasn't earned anything. They've invested and they've seen a return on their investment. They're confusing what they do with the guy who gets on the bus in the morning at 6 a.m., does a full shift, then on the way home stops off for a part-time job, and then at the end of the month still has nothing to put away in the bank. That person earned his salary. The other guy is just living off the gravy, skimming the proceeds of other people's hard work. The two concepts should not be confused, but moreover, when you see these billionaires who have the audacity to be angry and resentful, you know, this rule number one: if you've got $1 billion, there is really, short of anyone injuring you or you getting ill or someone stealing your wife, there is really nothing of a monetary nature that should upset the billionaires. And that includes everything from the taxes being raised to an automobile mechanic overcharging them, to universal health care being implemented, in fact, on their dime. They should be only too happy to go along with it. And the fact that they don't tells us something about what's going on here. Now let's fast forward to Ron Paul, candidate for president. You know, it's been a long time. For a long time I thought that Pat Buchanan might be the most dangerous candidate who ever seriously ran for in my lifetime, presidency of the United States. But I'm quite sure that Ron Paul is 10 times more dangerous than Pat Buchanan ever was. Among his other kooky ideas, Ron Paul is a big advocate of the complete elimination of the Internal Revenue Service. Now, of course, nobody likes to pay taxes, and we're all in agreement that the Internal Revenue Service is a annoyance at best to our lives. However, what he's proposing is replacing a graduated income tax with a standard flat national sales tax of 23%, which he says will make up the difference in the revenue. Of course, it's never been tried, so we don't know if that'll happen. But before even going into the math of the situation, consider this. Anyone who works for a living, as defined earlier, under Ron Paul's program gets a 23% cut in their salary, whatever it is they're taking home. Because right now, people who earn $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12, they have families, they don't really pay much tax. And under the new system, everything they buy will cost, roughly a quarter more. I don't mean a coin quarter, 25% more. Therefore, they're going to buy 23% less things than they're now buying. And that's going to have a ripple effect. If you give $1 to a billionaire, what he's going to do with it is, he's going to put it in some sort of a stock, a Wall Street investment, whereby the product of that investment is that one large company buys out another large company, eliminates the competition, makes the cereal box smaller for the same amount of money, fires half the people from the company they bought, and the other half of the people, their jobs slowly get eliminated while the company moves its plant outside of the United States, and where they can pick up now tax incentives for doing that under the system we now have. So you give $1 to a billionaire. These tax breaks we're discussing about the rebates and so forth that are constantly being debated. You give $1 to a billionaire, and he's going to invest it in this Wall Street enterprise, and it's going to bring absolutely nothing positive back to the community. Now, you give that same dollar to a working poor person, and that night they're down at the bodega buying a loaf of bread, and that money is directly being churned back into circulation. The bodega owner then buys more stock from the distributor. The distributor then goes out and buys a brand new van from General Motors, and that's the way the wheels go round and round. Now, if you impose a 23% additional tax burden on the working poor in order to pay a sales tax, they'll just buy 23% less goods and services. So, if you want to talk about a recession, we'll be talking about a depression, and it'll be almost instantaneous. It will become obvious, if you ever got near the White House, it will become obvious that within a very short time, we went out of the frying pan and into the blast furnace. So I say, don't eliminate the Internal Revenue Service. Do away with the billionaires. Step one. They have too much power. They do as they please. They answer to no one. And they are ruining, I repeat, ruining our community. Because when a person has that much money, it means they have a little bit of a sickness. No one needs that much money. Anyone who thinks they need that much money is got a mental illness, in my humble opinion. And they think that they're going to gain happiness by acquiring more and more wealth, but they soon find out that whatever little bit of excitement it once brought them is worn off, and no matter how many millions they earn in one day, it can't get them jived up like it used to. So, not everyone. I'm sure there are some benevolent billionaires, but too many extremely wealthy people get their enjoyment out of picking the pocket of the working person because they resent the fact that the working person actually does get a small, authentic benefit out of their small, authentic paycheck. And that is the problem we face as a society, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be signing off now for tonight. In our next segment, I will explain to you the background of naming this the Pharisee report. Thank you for watching.